All right, we bring you in here, JJ, and well, I guess let's wrap up the Josh thing first. How does this play out? Do you think this week? How does one go from not really playing for 3 months, and Josh looks like he's in great shape, but I guess football shape is a different kind of thing. Does he have an effect in this game?
Yeah, I obviously haven't talked to Josh, but I would be surprised if he is not in top shape and ready to go. I mean, him having this sort of behind him, and remember, whether he was going to come back and play for the Trojans or get ready for the NFL draft, it's sort of the same type of conditioning and shape that he has to be in.
Right.
So I'd be surprised if he's anything but in tip-top shape, and I would think that he'll be really good tomorrow at practice. I'll be anxious to hear what the report is after, but I think he gives this team an immediate boost.
As a third corner?
I don't think he starts because I think you owe it to Kevon and
they've been playing
to
pretty
Dory,
well.
and they've been playing well. But I do think that he plays, and I do think he plays a lot. And the one thing with Josh is he's a physical corner. And so whatever they decide to do in terms of trying to stop UCLA, they got Lucien, who's a tall receiver. They got Jordan Payton, who's a physical receiver. Whatever they decide to do, I think if you put Josh on them, I think you're in good hands.
Well, and they're also going to need big guys that can tackle because they got to get Brett Hundley to the ground. And 2 years ago they played a lot of soft zone and tried to make him throw, and he just sort of picked them apart a little bit. He used the big tight end on smaller corners. Last year they played more man, and he just killed him with the run. And they tried a little mush rush up front just to contain him. That didn't work. They just went with design QB draws up the middle on the big plays. What's the strategy to get this guy down?
Well, it's obviously very tough, but I think that both game plans in the last 2 years have just been the wrong game plan. Not by a lot,
right,
but just by a little. In 2 years ago, we were running an even front. We were running 4 guys on the front line. I think you have to have 5 or have the flexibility that fifth guy can come up there because you have to have guys close to the line of scrimmage to try to contain them. Last year, I thought they played too much man coverage because when you play man coverage, you're chasing your receiver with your back to the quarterback, and then he starts to run, and it can be a problem. So I think that they're going to have to mix different defenses, but I think that, with the defense that the Trojans run and the ability to go to odd fronts and different types of fronts, Sua, of course, will be a major factor. We haven't had, remember back when we could slow down this style of offense was back when Clay Matthews was playing outside linebacker, a very athletic guy on the outside. Sua is not as big as Clay, but he's definitely as athletic or more athletic than Clay Matthews was on the outside. So, having that type of player involved in the run game will definitely help.
I don't think either team would trade their quarterback for the other. It's become a very interesting debate on who's the best quarterback in this town. Size it up for us. I mean, at the end of the day, you're gonna I assume choose the guy that sat next to us about 20 minutes ago. But size up and almost maybe the future of football, the efficient, accurate guy against the dual threat guy.
And of course, I'm a Cody Kessler fan just because of the things that he's done at SC, and I think the world of him. I think he manages games well, and I love his temperament and his moxie that he plays with. But I do give Brett Hundley a lot of credit, right? He's a very athletic quarterback. I think that it really depends on the defense you're trying to face or who you're trying to beat, right? Hundley will kill you if you're not athletic on the defensive front. Because if you're not, he's going to run around all those guys on the defensive front. He's into the second level, and it causes you all kinds of problems. So you have to have guys athletic enough to get off of blocks and tackle him because you can't, on a continuous basis, put extra guys just to watch him from running because he'll sit there and throw it if you do that. So, I think it depends on the quarterback that you have. I think the evolution is towards running quarterbacks. The problem is, especially at the NFL level, it's hard to keep them healthy, and more importantly, it's hard to find a guy that does both. Brett Hundley and Mariota are those guys.
On the other side of the ball, as we talk about Kessler, there's some really nice names and pieces on this UCLA defense. It hasn't always come together this year. How can the Trojans attack it and maybe even exploit the Bruins?
That's the one thing that has me scratching my head. They're very athletic. A lot of guys that were top, recruits when they were coming out. I think that the Trojans have to be able to run the ball. They're going to have to mix. They're going to have to mix, that whatever the script is to start the game, make a script for the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, and then you'll be set. But I think that that's sort of the key to the game is that they are very good. I just hope that all doesn't come together for UCLA on Saturday.
It's going to be an epic evening on Saturday in the Rose Bowl as the sun sets over the San Gabriels, a 5 p.m. kickoff on ABC and ESPN Radio. We'll come back and wrap it up. You're listening to The Beast. It's Trojans Live with Jordan Moore and John Jackson.